What's up, YouTube? It's your girl, Simply Brittany J, and I am back with another video. This video really actually is an update about everything that's been going on. As you see, I am in a hotel room. Great. Because I'm homeless. Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah. I can basically say like how I got to this place and stuff like that. And I'm gonna say what I plan on doing and just how I'm feeling. So I'm gonna be talking about like two people in this situation. I'm mainly gonna be talking about my last boyfriend who I was like living with and how everything ended up here. And I'm gonna just refer to him as A, and then I'm gonna talk about like my ex, like who I haven't been with in over a year technically, and we just gonna call him D. But yeah. So I know back in like May, I made a video about me quitting my job, and I had quit my job because at that point in time I was dealing with D, and I was falling even more so for A, like harder and faster than at any point in time of me even liking him, like quickly, to the point that it was like I can't be around you because it's a distraction from my work. It's just a distraction from everything. It's just like, I can't. So plus I wanted to like work things out with D, because I'm the type of person, like if I truly love you, no matter what you done to me, I'm gonna work it out. I'm gonna try to work it out until there is nothing else to work out left, like until the very end. Like I'm gonna give my all into it till like that's it. So then so I had like, even though A at that point in time did seem like a better option and stuff like that, I was like, still focused on D and stuff like that. Then like D abandoned me. Like he just dipped on me and did me wrong and basically left me for another girl, which I'm gonna get a little into that too. But so at that point in time, it was just like, I tried. Like, you can't keep nobody who don't want to be here or nothing like that. I'm like, I tried to work it out with him, but he didn't want to. So I was at the point of my life, like, I did all of this stuff to try to make it work with you. Like, literally, I left my job. I was in the process of trying to do other stuff so I could move, so I could be away from problems, but it just wasn't enough. Therefore, I was like, you know what? I did everything I could do, so it's time to move on. Finally, I was gonna move on, but I didn't have a specific person. Like, even though I had feelings for A and he was like one of the reasons why I left, we couldn't be together because it was like complications. Like when we first tried to talk to each other, like it was smooth, but then I did treat him badly because of D, and it's like, that was kind of like always hindering things. And then plus, like, he was my boss. Yeah, he was my boss at the time, so it's just like he also just couldn't be with me because of that. So yeah. So then flash forward into like, so I quit in May, so flash forward to like July, at the end of July and stuff like that, that's when me and D was like officially done and stuff like that. We had a big falling out. We wasn't speaking to each other at all. Like, well, he wasn't speaking to me at all. And so, like I said, I decided to move on, and I was like, you know what? I'm a very religious person, and I do like to pray to God when it's like big decisions and stuff like that. Especially when I'm like banking on something to happen. Like, I always like to put a little prayer out there. Sometimes I do feel bad about that. But God knows my heart, like, for real. So I made a prayer to myself, and I was like, because at that point in time I did block A, and I deleted like everything that had like his number on it and all that. So I'm like, I didn't know what it was to like reach back in contact with him after like all of that, but I finally found it. And then we ended up hanging out and going through like a traumatic experience together. And the traumatic experience, it was traumatic for what it was at that point in time, but at the end of the day, it was like, since there was nothing really to worry about, she got food. My bad for y'all. That. Let me give me a little. Don't get me wrong, I've been sleeping here. I've been asleep. I don't even know why I'm tired, but anyway, so yeah, me and A got over that. And then after me and A got over that little situation, you know, we became real close because that situation made us bond. And, you know, I like started really confessing my feelings to A because it was just like at that point in time I had nothing holding me back. Like I wasn't dealing with D anymore. I wasn't like planning on going back, right? Like it was just nothing that was holding me back from telling A like how I truly feel, like what's in my head and stuff like that, you know. And luckily for me, the feelings at that point in time was like reciprocated, like. So we just began just seriously talking. Like I cut off all the other people that I was even attempting to talk to or was going to talk to, like when I finally got ended with D, because honestly, I wasn't about to be in a relationship. I was just about to just live my life. But like I said, before I really got into me living my life, like I really wanted to get in touch with A, and with the whole prayer and me actually getting in touch with him and finding his number and stuff like that, you know, I felt like that was a sign from God, like forget all these other niggas that you dealing with, like this is who you're supposed to be with. And plus that's who I wanted to be with, because truth be told, like we, you know, that's just who I wanted to be with. So we end up like kicking it real heavy and hard and stuff like that, like. And during that time, you know, I had D still, he wasn't in the picture at all because we didn't see each other. Like the last time we seen each other was like back in July, before like I really started messing with A. Like at the beginning of July, before I started messing with A. But like we was somewhat still in communication, and that's only because of the simple fact that one, even though I was over the situation and I wasn't going back, it was hard to not talk to somebody who was your best friend, even if you are just being like mean and hateful. It's hard to not talk to somebody that you had so much love for, and that was your best friend. So like, you know, I was still like we would still have like small communications and stuff like that. And so we went like that. And then plus he had my key, and like I said, I've been dealing with my ex for like so long. I've known him for like the last 11 years, last 10, 11 years. And it's just like, I know him too. Even when he did the whole thing and we wasn't speaking for a while, like I knew that eventually he was going to be like, all right, let me go try to get Brittany back, or let me go try to, you know. So I'm like, And I'm talking about D, not A. I know it's getting a little confusing, but I try to keep up with me. So, like, that's the reason why we still in communication. And then, truth be told, at that point in time, like, I loved A, and I wanted to be with A, but I was scared because it was like, I felt like, even though I was really adamant of not going back to my ex, like, at that point in time, like, I really was. And even now, to this day, I'm not going back to that nigga. Like, I really was adamant on that. But it just was like everything's so fresh and so new, like I'm scared. And like I don't want to get my heart broken again, which I did, but so I basically was like, well, I'ma just communicate with my ex until these feelings die down. And me and him wasn't in a relationship like that, but it wasn't even like communicating. It was just like literally we were just saying hateful shit to each other. But honestly, that was helping me. Well, more like me just saying hateful shit to him, but honestly that was helping me because it was like, yeah, I didn't want to go back, and yeah, I did want to be with A. Saying hateful shit to D helped because it let all the anger that I had inside of me, because I had so much anger. Like I was so hurt. Because before A even came in the picture, I thought D was supposed to be the love of my life. Like when I say I did anything for that man, I did anything for that man. Like anything. Like I would make shit happen even when I couldn't make shit happen. Like, and I really thought that was the love of my life. But once I realized like I was getting cheated on and all this other stuff, and this is before I even had real life confirmation, I just felt like this nigga was like just doing me dirty. It was just, you know, it just was what it was. But like I said, I was still dealing with him because I was like trying to let all that hate go. And then plus he still had my key. And I knew me too as well. Like I wanted to do two things. Like when he had my key, I wanted to get it back. So one, I wouldn't have to worry about him popping up and just coming to my apartment anymore. Because even though he said, oh, I wouldn't have did that, I let it go. I know if he would have knew I still lived where I lived and he knew I was in a relationship or anything of that nature, or even if he thought I was in a relationship, if he still knew where I lived at, even though he said he wouldn't have, I just felt like he would have just like, can't see how I was doing, or just something, or even like just drove past just shit like, and that right there was an uncomfortable feeling. And like I used to complain to A about that, like I don't like him just having the ability to just like pop up on me at any time. And it's not even just the ability to pop up on me at any time, it's the ability to pop up on me and have full access. Like, even though I guess technically I could have did the same, but I don't have a key, so it's not like, oh yeah, I have to literally be breaking and entering, which technically is the same thing with him, but it's different when you ain't really breaking shit to enter and you just using somebody's key to enter their house. It's like, hello? And then since he has done that before, like just came in at a random time when we wasn't speaking, and it's like, and scared the fucking hell out of me. It's just like, nah, not explaining that to A before. And then he was around with sometimes when like my ex used to call my phone. He was just, it was just a lot. So with all of that going on, when I started messing with A, and he seen all of that stuff like that, and he knew like the abusive history that me and my ex D used to go through, he was like, nah, like you need to get up out of here, like this not a safe environment for you and stuff like that. And yeah, he could protect me when I'm with him and stuff like that, but you know, if this is where I'm laying my head at every night and sometimes I'm not with him, like who's gonna protect me then? And that's kind of how he felt. And honestly, I just love that man so much. I'm talking about A. I loved him so much. It was just like, I did like being with him. So with all of those factors in together, like with my abusive ex still having access to me, and like just how much I loved A, after I started talking in the end of July, so in August, September, October, and November, and December, so for those 5 months, he basically just asked me to move in with him because of the situation I was going through. And At first, I wasn't sure about it because when he first started asking me for like those first 2 months, I wasn't even his girlfriend then. And I'm like, bro, like, I get you want to protect me and you care about my future, but not being your girlfriend and moving in with you is a little bit steep to me. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's a little bit like we just talking, and then like for you to be like, oh, we wasn't even really together. Like that's what I was thinking in my head. Like, no, I'm not gonna just live with you just to be living with you. And then as time went on and stuff like that, like we would have our dates or like just little simple stuff together, you know. He'd drive me back on my apartment, something like that. And like just weird stuff used to happen at my old apartment too, besides just my ex popping up, or well, the possibility of him popping up. It's like I used to have like creepy doors, like creepy neighbors knocking at my doors. And then I used to just have like just the most uncomfortable feelings. Like people used to watch me and just say stuff, and like it was not really that safe. Like I really used to feel like I was gonna get attacked or something just bad was gonna happen while I was over there. So, but even with me feeling like this and A wanting me to move in with him, I still like all of August and September, I'm like, you know, it wasn't really until October. No, it wasn't until November when I was like, you know what? Maybe I can really move in. Like when he asked me to be his girlfriend at the end of September is when I agreed to move in with him. But from October and November, I was like kind of like iffy on the situation and stuff like that. That's why I kept like bringing it up to him, like, you know, like we just got together. I don't want to rush into anything, you know. We could just take things slow because we don't have to live together right now. Like we can just still be dating, you know. I go home sometimes, chill. You be at home sometimes, chill. You know, like even though I missed them and stuff like that, and it'd be like certain things. It's just like I was okay with us not living together and us just still being boyfriend and girlfriend. But I do understand how him feeling like another nigga got access to his girl crib, how he felt like it was dangerous of me over there for me and stuff like that. So it was just like he wanted me to get out. So every day, well not every day, but like at least once a week for like the last 2 months of 2022, I kept asking him like, "Are you sure you want me to move in? You sure you want me to move in? You sure you want me to move in?" He said, "Yeah, like it's gonna be great. Like I can't wait to live with you. I want to live with you." And I'm like, "All right, cool, fine." Even the very last day, like I moved out December 30th, 2022. And even on up until that day, I was like, before I start throwing things away, because like I have to work hard for everything that I had, because where I came from and like the house that I used to live in before I had my own place was just trash. Like besides my clothes, I really couldn't bring anything with me because like I used to have like a really bad, well, ain't no used to, like my old house still had like a really bad infestation. And it's just like, don't nobody want to live like that. Like don't nobody want to be in a house like that. Like you can't have nothing nice because this infestation is ruining everything. So it's just like, so when I moved into my apartment, like that was a big thing for me because it was like I get my own independence. I ain't gotta live in a life like this no more. Like it was just so many things. Like, and I finally felt like the woman that I was becoming was just a better one. So when I was throwing things away in my apartment, like I felt some type of way because I'm like, I really just hope that this is not for nothing because I worked hard for everything in here. Like everything that was in that apartment, like nobody helped me with. Like I think I might have left, like the only thing that might have been in there that was like somebody helped me with might have been like a rug. And besides people actually helping me like put things together, but like buying stuff, like nobody helped me with. Like I worked hard for like the last 2 years to build my apartment up to what it was. And so to throw away everything, it was a crushing feeling. But like he kept reassuring me like, oh, you know, we got to spend our life together. We were supposed to be moving in a new place in June. And it's just like, all right, then I guess I can feel okay with like giving up everything I worked hard for, because it's like I'm not giving up nothing I worked hard for. I'm about to just go create more with the man that I really want to be with. And during that time too, like a lot happened. My granddaddy passed away. Like it was just so much that just like put into like a headspace to me. Like I love A. I want to be with A. Like this is the man like I want to spend the rest of my life with. And no greater feeling came to that than like the day that we officially moved together, which was like I guess the 31st, 30th, because after that point I didn't have an apartment anymore. So then I'm like, all right, cool. After we moved in together, it was 3 different situations that happened that I felt like was the downfall of our relationship. But at the same time, if he really loved me, then it wouldn't have. One, we had a New Year's party, and from my old relationship when I was with D, I like had to cut up on my friends, and like the only friend I did have was male friends. But as me going with my growing relationship with A, and at first I told him like I'm not gonna cut off my male friends just because of you again. But I started to understand, you know, like men don't really have female friends and stuff like that, because you know majority of those men want to sleep with their female friends, and I didn't want to be disrespectful to him. I don't want to have another situation like I had with D. So I was like, you know what? If you don't want me to have male friends, fine. So now I'm going back into me being like, just, I don't want to say all about him, but just you my only male friend. And then I got like one, I had, at that point in time, I did have 2 female friends, but one of them he didn't like, and so it was hard to hang out with her, because it was just like, well, I can't invite you over here because he don't want you over here. And it's like, I can't hang out with you because of the simple fact that anytime you want to hang out, it's either me and him got something planned, or 2, he like what I want to necessarily do and do it with a group of people, he don't want to do it. So me and her still cool and all of that, but it was just like I couldn't really hang out with her or like invite her to the things that was going on. So then I only had one other friend that I could be like, oh, okay, you know, you want to come to an event and stuff like that. So for New Year's, we had a party and stuff like that, and you know, even though I only invited one person, they didn't show up, and so like that kind of really hurted me, and I was kind of depressed about it, because it like made me put in the realization like, you know, I don't really got no friends, and like, or it felt like nobody really fucked with me like how I fucked with them. So I was a little bit depressed when the year first started about that, you know. But and I used to always like felt like once I left my relationship with D, like that my growing friendship relationships with other people would get stronger and get better. But then, you know, once that didn't happen, I realized like, oh, wait a minute, it's more to that than just him. So I was depressed about that. But, and I also was on my period. Like ever since the situation that I'm about to say, I was on my period. But yeah, I was on my period, and so I was like kind of like just overly emotional. And not only was I overly emotional because of that, it was more than just a friend thing. It was just like at that point in time too, like I wasn't really talking to my parents either. So it was like, dang, like I guess I'd be a little bit okay without having any friends if I like at least have family I could talk to or something like that. So I wouldn't just feel like the only person I got to talk to is my boyfriend and stuff like that. So I was like, I had gotten into a little depression about that. But after a while, I was like, you know, I'm not going to be depressed about my friend situation anymore. Like, I started working, like, the connections that I had with people, I started building them again. I tried to make new friends and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't about to be sad about stuff that I can control. Like, yeah, my period put me into a sadder, more depressive mode than I normally would have been. But that's just because everything's hit me at once. Like, not having your parents there or just family in general after you just lost your granddaddy who was your whole world to you, and then like not having friends, like you feel pretty lonely. And then I don't care what nobody say, like when you on your period, you're like, I'm not saying that you can't control your emotions, but it's hard. It's hard. And then sometimes you don't even know, because it's not like, oh yeah, like when your PMS starts, it's not like, oh yeah, clockwork, I'm gonna start this day, this day, this day. No, it's just like it just comes out of nowhere. Sometimes it be the day before your period, sometimes it be for a week. Like you never know. So then when you get a random attitude, it's like, especially when you thinking in the back of your head, like, why am I so mad right now? Like, I don't need to be this mad. And then you look up and it's because you're PMS, and it's like, it's frustrating, and then you get frustrated with yourself because you're like, I don't even want to be mad. I'm not trying to be mad. I'm not trying to be mean. I don't want to be mean. But it's just like your emotions just take control. So that's how it was with that situation. But I picked myself up, you know, and we, got it. And I don't know if that was the moment when he just was thinking about he didn't want to be with me anymore. But I just know that when we broke up, like almost a month later, like a week before Valentine's Day, he said he was thinking about it for a while now. And that kind of hurt me, because it's just like, dang, I've only been living here for a month and you've been thinking about it for a while. Like, why couldn't you just think about it or like really make this decision when, weeks ago? Like, that was the only thing that had happened in those couple of weeks. That was like, what could have changed to make you realize you don't want to be with me anymore, or like put that thought in your mind? And then February came, and like when he actually physically broke up with me, we had gotten into an argument. I wasn't really feeling good. Like, I have like bad, like my iron is low. I bruise easily. Like, I even got a bruise on my arm and stuff like that from just being I'm very malnourished and stuff like that. And like, sometimes I can be too focused on other things and I don't take care of myself. And like, at that point in time, I wasn't really taking care of myself. So I wasn't feeling good one day. It was like a combination of my period. I got hypoglycemia. So that, and just like, I had a cold too. So it was like all three of those at once. And I was cool, and I was like trying to control my attitude better, because I'm like, this time around, like, it didn't hit me, but it kind of hit me a little slower. So I tried to control it and catch it a little better. So, I'm like feeling all this type of way, and like, I asked A, before he goes out with his friend and go to his friend's house, like he can do something for me, because I wasn't feeling good. And a little time passed and stuff like that, and A completely forgot it. He was just about to dip and go do with his friends, stuff with his friends. And so I'm like, yes, I might have shouldn't have gotten as upset as I did, but I did get upset. And it wasn't like, oh yeah, me cussing him out, but it was just like, I was annoyed, because it's just like, if you asked me to do something for you because you was sick or anything like that, like, regardless if I didn't get up to do it right away, which I never asked him to, it's just like, I'm not about to forget it, because I know I'm looking at you like, dang, it was something wrong with my baby, let me go do that before I go do whatever I could go do. But we end up getting into it about that, and then I end up letting him like go just hang out with his friends. And then while he was with his friends, I end up like going to go get it myself. And then I knew he had to work the next day, and plus we didn't really hang out that day, because he always felt like, just because we lived together, like that was us hanging out and spending time together, when it was like, no, because if we say hi and I go in my room, and I go in the room and you go in the couch, like, that's not us spending time and hanging out. That's just us seeing one another, like. But anyways, like, so after that, he ended up breaking up with me. So then when after he broke up with me for that, because I guess he just said, like I said, he said he was thinking about it for a while. And after he broke up with me for that, he ended up going away. And when he came back, I guess he realized, like, dang, I miss her. I don't want to be without her, so let's us get back together. Which, after that point, I'm like, all right, we got through the rush patch. You realize that, yeah, it could be a little difficult and stuff like that. And we decided that we wasn't going to make a decision like that unless we, like, really talked and really, like, thought it through. Like, and I said, if you was feeling some type of way about anything, instead of you just dealing with these emotions in your head, like, come talk to me so I'll know how to move. This video is getting long. It's like 30 minutes long, so I'm just about to wrap it up. I'm about to say what I gotta say real quick and then end it, because I was not trying to be this long. But yeah, we ended up getting back together. We fixed it, we said we was gonna work on some things, and we came down with some things that we was gonna work on. But it was like every time we said, okay, this is what we're gonna do to move forward, it was like we never really did it. Even when I was trying to put effort into it, he just didn't care to. And so it was just like, which for me, I guess that should have been the first time, like, oh yeah, he don't really want this relationship. And he might have love for me, but he not in love with me. But I still pressed on. So after the whole us being together, we celebrated that breaking up and him going away and getting back together. We celebrated Valentine's Day, which everything was great. Then we kind of got into a little disagreement, which was any of our disagreements, it was just about like little stuff. And I guess I felt some type of way, only because it's just like, it might not necessarily been sex related, because at first I thought it was, but now as I really dig deeper, it was just more feeling like intimate with my man, and that's really all I wanted. Like, and I really didn't get that intimacy from him, so I used to complain about that. So, but like, that was like the last major argument we had. Well, it wasn't even an argument, it was a discussion. And like I said, at that moment in time, I should have known he didn't love me like the way he said he did. Because some of the things that he said at that point in time was just like, if you love me, like, that wouldn't even matter. But okay. So fast forward, it was his birthday month, which was all in March, and like, he was turning 30. And like I said, I love that man because he really did help me a lot. Like, he helped me be calmer, he helped me be more responsible, he helped me, like, I already was trying to build my relationship with God, but it's different when it's easier to build a relationship with God when somebody giving you peace than when somebody giving you function, because it's just like, when you got peace, you can clearly just see God and his purpose. And then when you got dysfunction, it's just like you thinking to yourself like, God, what you doing right now? But yeah, so I was like really appreciative. So I'm like, all right, for the next 30 days up until your birthday, I'm gonna give you a gift every day to show you how much I love you. And because being 30 is a big deal, and plus he always told me how like nobody ever really cared about his birthday or anything like that. Like, it's nothing. And I always try to make our events special for him, because he always used to tell me like how the females that he dealt with, like, nobody cared. And it's just like, one thing for sure, one thing is certain. If I'm ever really in a full relationship with you, I care about you. Ain't nobody gonna come in between that. Like, I don't care who I'm dealing with in the past and stuff like that. Like, that was irritating. But I don't care who I'm dealing with in the past or anything like that, If I'm in a relationship with you right there and then, you all that matters to me. And that and your happiness. So like I said, like, I did 30 gifts for him for the 30 days starting on the 28th of February up until his birthday, which was March 28th. So during that entire time, I don't think we got into it. Like, I can't think of us having an argument or anything like that. Like, and I know like certain things that if I did make me mad, like, I purposely kept it to myself, because one, I really just wanted him to have a good birthday month, like, no drama, nothing for me. Like, even if it was something that I guess I could probably say nothing, like, I didn't want no drama from him. Like, I just wanted him to have a good birthday month. Like, that was my gift for him, like, not speaking up about something. And I guess maybe that was a downfall too. I don't know. I really honestly don't know. So then like I said, everything was fine up until the day after our 6-month anniversary. And it wasn't even the day after, it was just probably like, it was like 3 days after our anniversary. So what the fuck happened? Because this was literally like a week or two ago. So, like I said, every time we even get into some type of disagreement or any type of feeling some type of way, it's always because I'm on my period. Like, my hormones just be crazy if I get pissed off real easily on my period. And that's the only time where it's just harder for me to like let shit go it's just when I'm on my period. Any other time I get pissed off and I can be laughing within the next 5, not even that, next minute. Like, but when I'm on my period, it's just harder for me to like get unirritated. Anyways, but so I already was unhappy at my second job because it was just like I felt overworked and underappreciated. So me going back, like I was off that entire time, and then to go back to that, like it was a lot. So, I was already frustrated and stuff. And then it was like sometimes like I would talk to my ex about the situation, and I was like, I'm glad like I didn't say this to him. I don't know. I might have said this directly to him. I don't remember how I actually brought up the conversation, but I was just talking about how like basically like, how, he's my best friend because we're in a relationship, but I need other best friends than him and stuff like that. Kind of sort of back what we was talking about in January, but not really. But I'm like, I was like, I need other best friends and this and stuff. And that's when he fixes his lips to say like, we got a friendship and he look at me as his lover, but we not best friends. And it's just like, that shit really hurt me because it's just like, at this, like we've been planning this entire time to spend our lives with each other, like incorporating stuff with each other, like putting our finances together with each other. Like, it's supposed to be me and you, and it's just like, I'm not your best friend. Like, that shit hurt. Like, and then he bring up like him being close or trying to get that type of relationship with other girls, and it didn't work out. And it's just like, but I'm not other girls, and you said that to me multiple times that I'm not like anybody that you've been with. So it's just like, what does it matter? If I want to be your best friend, then we together. Because I'm like, in my eyes, you my best friend because I just love you so much and I want to be with you and you make me so happy. And I can just tell you anything, and like, you're the first person I want to tell everything to, and it's just like, but I'm not your best friend. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, and so like, even though I try not to like be emotionally affected by that and stuff like that, it really hurt me to the core because it's just like, I've been around married couples my entire life, and one thing I can say, that best friend relationship is so important. Because sometimes, like, I'm not saying that you're not gonna look at your partner as like a lover at any time and point, but it's just like, y'all gonna go through things, and it's gonna be like, you're not gonna need the opinion of your girlfriend or your wife. You're gonna need the opinion of your best friend. And it's no better opinion from that coming from than your significant other who is your best friend. And that's just personally how I see it. It's just like, as me, like my parents been married for, I think, 39 years. They've been married longer than I've been alive. And it's something like that. They've been married for like 30 plus years. It's over 35, I know that for a fact. But either way it goes, my parents been married for a very long time. And even though they had their issues and stuff like that, like, one thing about my parents is like, they're best friends. Like, they say that about each other all the time. Every married couple, even my brother and his wife, they're best friends. My sister and her wife, they're best friends. Like everybody that I relationship wise is married, I know they are best friends with their significant other, because I just, like, one, that just makes your relationship stronger and better. And just like, even my cousin who passed away beforehand, him and his ex-wife, even when they got a divorce and stuff like that, they were still best friends. Because it's important to have that, because you never know. What if you marry somebody and you get with them and y'all have kids? You don't want to have a toxic relationship with them while you're still trying to co-parent. It's important. That's why it's important to marry your best friend. So no matter what happened, at the end of the day, y'all still got that best friend relationship. But he just didn't feel like that. And like, me knowing in my head, like, once he said that, I had the thought in the back of my head, like, I don't think we should be together. But especially because I knew that he never felt like that. But like, I just, like, after me sitting there and thinking about it for a while, I'm like, do I really not want to be with him? No. I was like, I'm just probably hurt by him not saying that we can be best friends. So I was like, all right. And no, I didn't say this out loud to him. I'm just thinking in my head, like, all right then, that best friend stuff, it'll come along another way. Like, eventually you're gonna realize I'm your best friend, But it took me a minute to, like, deal with that, like, emotionally, because once again, I was on my period. So it was a day. So before, so that was going on, and then it was like, all right. All the time beforehand, like, he really wasn't spending no time with me, or like, we was watching the show, but we really couldn't watch the show because of the simple fact that, like, he was always playing the game or chilling with his friends or just doing something that was just like, well, how can we finish what we got going on if you're doing this? So then we had said we was gonna dedicate some time to each other, and his friend ended up randomly popping up and stuff like that. And even though he said he didn't know or stuff like that, his friend never texted back, he still had the idea, like, even though he never told, like, oh yeah, I'm about to be at home, like, you still was planning on linking with your friend and you never said anything. So it was like, if you even knew of that as a possibility, and it didn't pan out. But that's neither here nor there. But either way it goes, I'm trying to make this short. His friend came over randomly, and like, I got upset. Like I said, I gotta stop saying that because that's not an excuse, but just know where my emotions was at. And I'm like, his friend came over, and it was like, I wasn't trying to be a bitch, like, oh nah, kick your friend out, and nothing like that. But it was more so like, dang, like, I want to be with you too. Like, I know that you know that we live together, but it doesn't mean we spend time together. That doesn't mean that you're here for me. And it's like, yeah, I could have reacted and been in a better way, but it's just like, at that point in time, I was so fed up of having to fight for his attention with everybody else and feeling like I'm compensating with his friends. It was hard. It was so hard. And then it was just like, and I do regret that, because maybe if I would have never said anything, we would have still been together. But yeah, but like a day or two after that, he texted me. Like, we was, we got over there, he was fine, we kind of got over that argument, but I knew he still felt some type of way or anything like that, and I tried to apologize the best way that I could, but it was already there. So then I think it was either the next day, no, it was like a couple days later, he asked me if I wanted to go to the movies with him and his friends, and it was just like, like, with his friends and stuff like that. Like my last relationship when I was with D, it always felt like with his friends and stuff like that. When I tried to become friends with him and his friends, so it, we could be all cool and we could just hang out, so he won't have to feel like he had to leave me at home. It messed up our relationship. So I decided in my new relationship, like I'm gonna be cordial with your friends, but I'm not about to be like, oh, buddy, buddy, and stuff like that. Like I'm not about to really get to know them. Like I'm gonna get to know them well enough to know who they are, but not well enough that I'm like, oh yeah, that seems like something that he would do. Like because of the simple fact that I don't want to be ever you accuse me of anything with your friends or just anything like that. Like that's why like instead I did it the opposite way around, and I'm like I wanted the relationship with his people, like his parents and his family and members and stuff like that, because it's just like I really cared about them, and I did love them, and I still do have love for them. Like I really did care about his family. So he just always say like just say it was just stuff, just dealing with his friends and stuff like that. And I didn't, like I said, like that last day I didn't want to go to the movies because I didn't want to just be me, him, and his friends, and I feel like I can't even talk to nobody, and I'm just sitting there like awkward. But I told him we need to have a conversation, and I just really wanted to like figure out what we were gonna do from there. But it ended up being a breakup. And at first I thought like maybe he was just mad about everything, but he was serious. And then I kind of like nailed the coffin into it by like me doing something from him, like being like revengeful because I was so hurt. Like the first initial day that he broke up with me, like everything that I bought him for his birthday was like, which was like a week ago, I was like starting to take it back because it's just like I was hurt that he was breaking up with me without even, I felt like he really didn't even try. And it was just like, well, I'm gonna take all this stuff back. Like, I guess it was being revengeful, so he wouldn't have it. But then my thought process really honestly was like, well, shoot, I literally gave up everything I had. Like, I gave my bed away, TVs, refrigerators, tables, all of that, like couches, everything. I gave it all away because we were supposed to be starting a brand new, and it was just like, if I'm gotta move and get my own place now, I gotta start all the way over. And I'm like, I put so much into this relationship and gave up so much, and I felt like he didn't really give up anything and was just ending it. Like the only, like I guess what he sacrificed his freedom, but it really wasn't that because I let him do what he wanted to do. Like, but yeah, it was just a lot. I mean, like I said, I fucked it up even more at the end by, like I said, taking his stuff back, which I feel 50-50 on that. It's like I had to do that because at the end of the day, it was just like, my whole thought process with me of starting over, and I'm like, what do I have that I could start over with? And I'm like, I felt like, well, if the only thing you losing is me, which you obviously don't care about, then you're gonna lose some other stuff too, which like I can agree is revengeful. Like, I'm not downplaying anything that I did wrong or anything like that, but it's just like you can't take back gifts you give somebody. But like I said, at that point in time, I was just hurt, like really hurt. But then I started going through the process and stuff like that of like giving him his stuff back, and I still end up taking it in the end. But I'm saying, like, I was really going to give him back to him. But then, like, two things that happened, like, before shit just hit the nail in the coffin. I was on the phone with, me and him had a conversation firsthand. And he felt like if he would have stayed with me, he would have cheated on me. And that really hurt me because just like, how can you be in love with somebody and then but you think that you're gonna cheat on them? It's just like, so you really not in love with me? You really don't love me? Like, You just did all of this. It's like, what was all of this? When I asked and I tried to be patient, and he said we rushed, and it's like, we knew we rushed, but it's just like, we here now. What is we gonna do? Like, the only thing left to do was to try, and he didn't try. He didn't try at all. He tried until something shit hit the fan, and that's not trying. If everything is going copacetic or straight, then you're not trying. Shit just go. It is what it is. But if shit hit the fan, and then the first thing you want to do is abandon ship, that's not trying. That's giving up as soon as shit go wrong. That's what he did. And then after he said that, you know, like, everything that mattered just went out the window. Like, everything. Like, I didn't care about nothing anymore. Like, and then I overheard him on the phone with his friends and stuff like that. And he was talking about he was going out, and he was talking about some girl that was there. It was just so much. How could you do this to me when I love you so much? And all I wanted was to make you happy. And I really felt like anything that we had going on, we could have worked it through, but different. And I know what I did at the end to like nail it in the coffin and stuff like that. But at the same time, it was a big deal, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, it's a big deal, but it's like, we done been through so much. And I know probably what I did too, make him not trust me. But it's like, at the same time, it's like, in actuality, like, if you really just think about it. But I'm not gonna make no excuses for myself or anything like that, because it was wrong. But it's just like, I was so hurt. I was so hurt. But after that, that was the final straw. And even though he was supposed to give me some time beforehand, he just kicked me out. And even though, like, he technically couldn't kick me out because of, like, the Michigan law and everything, it's just that I didn't want to stay there with a man who didn't love me, who didn't want to be with me. Every time I looked at him, or every time I heard him come home, it's just that deep down inside, I just wanted him to talk to me. Trying to work things out, but I knew that shit was over. I knew it was over, so I had to leave. Because he didn't love me or want me anymore, so I just had to take my loss and leave. I wanted to marry that man. I only introduced him to my grandfather who passed away because that was who I really wanted to be with. And I wanted to let my granddaddy know that I was going to be in good hands. I found somebody that I could really just be a wife to. And so, I'm out here in this hotel, like, I was at my parents' house, but my parents' house, I can't really be comfortable there and stuff like that. And the only time I was comfortable is if I slept outside in my car, because, like, that's another toxic situation. Like, the main reason why I left is because my parents, like, if I'm not doing what my parents want me to do, and I'm not talking about, like, something right, I'm talking about, like, literally, like, pouring my whole checks into them, or, like, just giving them all my money, or, like, just anything. If I'm not just giving them anything that's mine without, like, standing up for, I can't stand up for myself there, because then they got the power to, like, kick me out. Because that's what happened the last time for me to even get my apartment in the first place. Like, I was living in my parents, and I was living in a 2-family flat. Like, my parents was upstairs and I was downstairs. So technically I had my own place. And, like, something bad had happened, and my mom had asked me to use my car. And at that point in time, like, I was so upset of why she wanted to use my car. It was just like, no. And she got mad and she kicked me out. And it was just like, she does that often. Like that's a whole nother story for a whole nother thing of like, but it was like I love my parents, but it's toxic and it's just best for me to just stay away. So yeah, I really can't be there. I asked my brother for help. I have two brothers. One of them, I'm waiting on him to see if what it can happen, but it's not really in his court. And then the other one, my sibling's not really there for me, so that too. Yeah, I'm just with this stupid hour-long video that I did not even mean to make because I didn't think it was going to take me that long to even just get through our relationship. But it's just like, yeah. So now I'm just in this little hotel until I get my shit together. I got a couple plans that, I mean, it's Saturday now, but I gotta wait until Monday to see how they pan out. So fingers crossed. I mean, I got a job now, but I'm on the way to get a second job, and you know, hey, like I said, fingers crossed that work out too. Like I said, it's in the next couple of days that I get the other job. I don't see why I wouldn't, because it's literally the job that I had before. But yeah, like I said, hopefully that work out and pray. Two, I said I was gonna say something about D. Honestly, with that shit with D, I'm gonna just put it like this because I don't even know if they watch my videos. Sometimes they do. D say he do sometimes or anything like that. But I'm gonna just say this to both of them if they watch. D, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry about everything that we went through. But I really would appreciate it if we just cut all ties. You treated me wrong, you cheated on me, and like I said, I might have not been the most 100% like all about you, as in like did not mess with nobody, as in like while we was together. But I'm not talking about I never cheated on you. Like you actually like, oh yeah, we boyfriend and girlfriend, but I'm still sleeping with other girls cheating on me. I'm not, anything that I ever did, we was broken up and not together. Like over the summer when you broke up with me, that's when I did all of that shit. It was never, oh yeah, I'm actually your girlfriend and I'm coming home to you, or calling you like. And I lied to you when I said I did, because I didn't want to be the only one looking like you just cheated on me. I ain't get no lick back. Like that's what I look like. I should have got my lick harder back. And it's just like, as the days go by, you didn't deserve me. The girl that you with now, you deserve all that toxicness and stuff like that. Even if that don't work out, you deserve all that toxicness. You blame me for the relationships going on. You blame me for not being cool with your mother. You blame me for having a relationship with her. You blame me for everything. And yeah, at the end, you finally took responsibility for certain stuff. But you, even when you came back into my life, you were still blaming me for things. And it's just like, no. Like I said, I've never been 100% perfect in any of my relationships. With the cheating thing, that's all you. With anything that went bad and stuff like that, it really is you, because sometimes you just gotta stop playing with people and expecting them to be nice. I really do love with all my heart. I really do care with all my heart. And I really did love you and care for you. But once I got with A, I realized that I was settling. And to go back to you after all this time is settling too. So be with old girl. Make her happy. She doing crazy stuff for you anyway. Let her. Like, y'all trauma bonded. Let y'all be trauma bonded. Because all me letting you back in your life, my life, you're not gonna treat me right. You're gonna cheat on me again. Like, I'll be making a fool out of myself. And then at that point in time, for me acting crazy or doing something crazy, I won't have nobody to blame but myself. because I already knew what it was when I was dealing with you. Maybe the other times I didn't know, but now I know. So I just have to fully let that go. And for A, I really did love you. Like, I knew we was only together for like a certain amount of time, but I knew in that amount of time I loved you more than I loved D. And that's why it was just like, and that's honestly, you was the one who gives me the strength of like, I thought to myself, like, if we broke up, I'm probably just going real. I'm like, no, even with everything going on, I still don't want him. I want you, and I wanted you, but I have no choice but to force myself to let that go, and so I'm going to let that go. Like, I'm moving on with my life. Like, I gotta pick myself up. I gotta dust myself off. I gotta try again. Like, I'm not gonna give up on love because I know what type of heart that I got. But I am just gonna have to get over this hurt. Like, I wanted to be with A. I wanted to love him. I wanted to marry him. Like, everything. Like, but he didn't have those plans for me. And even though we ended bad, it could have been worse because of everything that I've been through, and like trauma wise, like it could have been worse. But not even trauma wise, but like my response wise, like what I'm used to getting called vengeful for, it could have been way worse. But honestly, I just glad that I still left my grace and dignity, well, the little amount that I did have left. And yeah. But so hopefully I find a place soon, find something. Hopefully I get this other job so I can, this other job will really help me get my life back on track, because with 2 jobs I can literally live anywhere. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm sorry that it was so long. I was trying to make it short. I guess I did say almost every little detail, but I guess if I was coming out here, I felt like I had to. But yeah, I think I chopped everything. I told y'all how I got in this position of me being homeless. I talked about what I'm doing now, and I'm just trying to be positive right now. Like, I'm a good woman. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be treated right. I don't deserve for somebody to be unsure about me. It's just, you know, it's time that I just be better. Like, if A didn't love me, D didn't love me, shoot, somebody else would love me. Like, but yeah. I'm your girl, Simply Brittany J. And thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, or whatever you want to do. You can even share this and stuff like that. Honestly, me talking about it made me feel better. And so now it's Saturday. I'm about to go turn up, try to feel a little better. Hopefully I get to go out with my friends tonight. And yeah, y'all have a good weekend.